Rightio, I guess we all know what that means then. It's time for a worked example.
Rightio, so this question says, sketch the graph of y equals x squared minus 4x minus 12 on the set of axes provided. So let's go through and do that. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to follow our steps that I've written up here. So step 1 says find the y-intercept. So we're going to write y-intercept, and of course to find the y-intercept we're going to make x equal to 0. So write out the equation now of the function. So we've got that written out here. So that is y equals x squared minus 4x minus 12. So that becomes y equals x squared minus 4x minus 12. And of course, in order to find the y-intercept, we're going to make x equal to 0. So we go y is equal to 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 12. 0 squared 0 minus 4 times 0 is 0. So therefore you're going to get y is equal to negative 12. And the coordinates of that point, of course, become x is 0 and y is negative 12. Let's go out and plot this point now. So you go to 0 and negative 12 and draw a dot there. We're going to write 0, negative 12. Excellent. The next one says find the x-intercepts. Okay, so to find the x-intercepts, what we do is we write x-ints, and of course we make y equal to 0. So we go through now, we're going to make y equal to 0, so you get 0 is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 12. And the very first step that we need to do is we need to look for, to see if it's got two types of x or one type of x. Well, it's got two types of x, as you can see, because we've got the x squared here and our x. So it's two different types of x, which means we must factorize. Right, so we're going to have a look now to see if we can factorize. So we go, are there any common factors of negative 12 that add to negative 4? So let's have a look at the factors of 12. So we go x and x, factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And of course it's negative, and with the number in the middle is negative, so that means the larger number is going to be negative. And which ones are going to add to negative 4? Well, 2 and negative 6 will add to negative 4. So you're going to get 0 is equal to x plus 2 and x minus 6. Excellent. Now what we've done with Factorize is we're going to go through and solve it. So we're going to make each mini equation equal to 0. So you're going to go x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x minus 6 is equal to 0. So therefore x is equal to negative 2 or x is equal to 6. Now these as coordinates are negative 2, 0 because our y was equal to 0, or 6, 0. So let's go through and plot those now, shall we? So we go to negative 2, 0 and 6, 0. And we're going to plot those points here, 6, 0 and negative 2, 0. The next thing that we need to consider now is the coordinates of the turning point. So we know the coordinates of the turning point are going to be found using the formula up here. That is the one that you can see me moving my cursor around now. So turning point is equal to bracket negative b over 2a, comma c minus b squared over 4a, where we've got x squared minus 4x minus 12. Of course, our a value is 1, our b value is negative 4, and our c value is negative 12. So let's go through and substitute those in now. So we get turning point is equal to negative b, so it's negative negative 4 over 2a, so 2 times 1, comma, c being negative 12, minus b squared being negative 4, squared over 4 times a being 1, comma. So that therefore is equal to negative negative 4 becomes 4 over 2. Negative 12 minus negative 4 squared is 16 because the negatives become a positive. And 4 over 1 is 4. This cancels down to get you 4 over 2 is 2. And negative 12 minus 16 over 4, well that's negative 12 minus 16 over 4 is 4. Which gets us 2, negative 16. So let's go through and plot that point now. So you go to 2, down to negative 16, and we draw a dot. And we write 2, negative 16. Now what you can see happening is a quadratic equation that sort of, if we join the dots, you're going to get basically a parabola that you can see it's going. Let's just double check though to see if it's a maximum parabola or a minimum parabola. Well, is a number out the front of the x squared positive or negative? So let's come back up to here. We have a look at the x squared. Well, it's a positive x squared, therefore it's going to be a minimum parabola. That is, it's going to come down to a point and then go all the way up, which you can kind of see with the dots anyway. So now all we need to do is we need to just go through and join the dots. So we come down through here, up, and like that. Remember to draw your arrows and write the equation of the line on it. So you get y is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 12. So as we've done before, it's time now to press pause and attempt the following question. That is, sketch the graph of y equals x squared minus 10x plus 25 on the set of axes provided. And of course, once you're done, make sure you press play and check your answers out against mine. Alright, so welcome back now. As you can see here, the very first step that we always need to do when sketching quadratic equations is find the y-intercept. Now we do that by making x equal to 0. So what I've done here is I've written out the equation, and then I substitute in x for 0 into the equation here. When you get 0 squared minus 10 times 0, you just get 0, plus 25 is 25. So you end up getting the coordinates 0, 25. So let's go now and plot that point over here at 0, 25. And we write it in here at 0, 25. Excellent. The next thing now that we need to do is go through and find the x-intercepts. Of course, to find the x-intercepts, we make y equals 0. So here's our equation, y equals x squared minus 10x plus 25. Make y equal to 0. And we've got how many types of x? Well, we've got an x squared and an x. So that means we must factorize or solve by using the quadratic formula. Let's have a look now. Are there any factors of 25 that add to negative 10? So let's write out the factors of 25. So you've got 1 and 25 and 5 and 5. But because we've got a positive and a negative answer, we need to make these both negative. So you've got negative 1 and negative 25 and negative 5 and negative 5. Now, did some of these add to negative 10? Well, we know that negative 5 plus negative 5 equals negative 10. So you're going to get x minus 5 and x minus 5. Now, because we've got the same bracket twice being multiplied by each other, what you're going to write that as is x minus 5 squared. Solving this now, what you end up getting is x minus 5 is equal to 0. And when we solve for x, you're just going to plus 5 to both sides, getting us x is equal to 5 because the 5's here will cancel out. Because our x coordinate was 5 and our y coordinate was 0 that we found before, you're going to get the coordinate 5, 0. So let's now go and plot that point over here at 5, 0. And there's only one x-intercept in this case. Now, if you think about that, if there's only one x-intercept, what's actually going to happen is this is going to be the turning point right here, because it's not going to go down below and then come back up. It's actually just going to come down and touch on it. So we actually know the turning point already, but let's just prove it using the turning point formula. So what I've got here is the turning point formula. That is negative b on 2a, comma, c minus b squared on 4a. And substituting in now, we've got our a value being 1, our b value being negative 10, and our c value being positive 25. So negative b, so negative negative 10, over 2 times 1 is a, 25 is your c value, minus negative 10 being b squared, over 4 minus 1, and we go now through and simplify. So you go negative negative 10 is 10, over 2 times 1 is 2, 25 minus negative 10 squared is 100, over 4 times 1 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5, 25 minus 100 divided by 4 is 25. And you end up getting 5, and 25 minus 25 is 0. Therefore, just as we predicted, our turning point is at the coordinate 5, 0. Excellent. Now all we need to do is decide whether or not it's a minimum parabola or a maximum parabola. So let's have a look at our equation up here again. So we've got y equals x squared minus 10x plus 25. And there's a number out the front of the x positive or negative. Well, it's positive 1. Therefore, we've got, once again, a minimum parabola because our a value is greater than 0. So now what we're going to do is literally just go through and join the dots. So it's going to come up here like this, going through the point 0 and 25. And then it's going to be reflected on the same side, doing exactly the same thing over here. Now, of course, we do little arrows here to show what's going on, and we're going to write out the equation of the line. So you get y is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 25.